The TechMax Expo 25 is the UK's top tech trade show, bringing together hundreds of IT professionals. It's a great opportunity to strengthen relationships with vendors and distributors while networking with industry leaders. You can explore the latest tech and services for growing your IT business. There is also thousands of pounds of prizes up for grabs. And not only that, it's free to attend the day event. The event takes place on the 27th of June 2025 at Magna Adventure and Science Centre near Meadowhall in Sheffield. Features include a live tech awards ceremony, evening retro entertainment, meeting areas and interactive demos. Can you afford not to be one of the 800 IT professionals who are expected to attend? Registration is now open at tftmax.com. Introducing Gamers Beat Cancer, the UK charity using the power of gaming via the gift of gaming to bring hope and support to cancer fighters everywhere. They provide gaming equipment, build supportive communities, and raise funds for vital cancer charities. Join us in levelling up against cancer. Donate, volunteer, or spread the word today. Visit gamersbeatcancer.co.uk and let's have more game on, not game over.
Seasonic, the heart of your system.
Introducing Tech for Techs Plus, the ultimate membership for computer shop owners and IT professionals. If you're looking to save time, boost your marketing, and streamline your business, this is the service for you. For just $29.95 a month or $295 a year, you'll get exclusive access to a treasure trove of digital marketing assets, including stunning posters and poster templates that you can edit yourself, and they're all crafted to captivate your audience. And on top of that, new content is released every month. But that's not all. Tech for Techs Plus also provides informative articles that you can share with your clients through your website, emails, or even printed materials, helping you build trust and loyalty. But on top of that, you also get legal documentation, including customizable contracts and policy templates. You'll have everything you need to protect and grow your business. Do you want to make changes to the posters we provide? No problem. With a Canva subscription, you can edit the designs we provide and tailor them perfectly for your business. You will also be able to take part in exciting upcoming projects like the nationwide Real Tech initiative coming in 2025. So let's accelerate your IT business with Tech for Techs Plus for just $29.95 a month or $295 a year. You'll get the tools you need to grow your business and stay ahead of the competition. Visit tech4techs.co.uk/plus to learn more and join today. The TechMax Expo 25 is the UK's top tech trade show, bringing together hundreds of IT professionals. It's a great opportunity to strengthen relationships with vendors and distributors while networking with industry leaders. You can explore the latest tech and services for growing your IT business. There is also thousands of pounds of prizes up for grabs. And not only that, it's free to attend the day event. The event takes place on the 27th of June 2025 at Magna Adventure and Science Centre near Meadowhall in Sheffield. Features include a live tech awards ceremony, evening retro entertainment, meeting areas and interactive demos. Can you afford not to be one of the 800 IT professionals who are expected to attend? Registration is now open at tftmax.com.
Seasonic, the heart of your system.
You're watching Tech Talk, brought to you by Tech for Techs. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live Mondays at 8 p.m. London time, and we will be streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. You can listen to our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, TuneIn, Player FM, and others.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Tech for Tech Tech Talk. This is a live show where we help your IT business grow. My name's Phil Griffiths.
And I'm Jenny, and we're going to attempt to make that business grow.
There we go. And tonight we're going to be talking about basically call-out services. So to people's houses, offices, businesses, however you're going to be doing it. We're going to be starting from, well, the start basically, what you should do from when you open your doors or start going out, should we say. But first of all, before we go in any depth, can you let us know if you can actually hear us and see us? And obviously, if you're watching from a company, make sure you mention your company's name and we'll give it a shout out as well for you. So again, we're going to be talking about basically call-out service. Okay, so while we wait for the chat to come in, I can see one person's commented, so we've got Dan, so we've at least got one person there.
Good evening, Dan.
And we've got Ian saying loud and clear, so there's at least two people on there. So,
and, call-outs, that's something that we can really give you a lot of advice about because, well, we had call-outs before we had the show. So if you need advice about call-outs, that's the man right there.
There we go. So we've got Ian saying loud and clear. Peter Whitehouse is saying all good here. Dan's also saying loud and clear. And Carl Mitten is saying all good.
Good evening to you all.
Good evening. Yes, you beat me to it. Right. Okay. Let's quickly go through the news first. So
yes, the news.
Yeah.
And boy, do I have some big news. I'm going to save the best for last.
Okay.
But everything is good in the news right now. Right now, we've had a lot of really big names sign up. As you well know, Valkyrie, in association with Origin, have signed up. They are coming, and they are our sponsors for the evening meal. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
Yay! I got ISL Online, Lexar's coming, Be Quiet, Kraken Hardware. They're new to the group. So when you go to TechMax, make sure that you go over to the Kraken Hardware store and give them a big TechMax welcome. It'll be their first time there.
Yeah, they're doing refurbished components rather than a whole machine like a laptop or PC. They do refurbished components. I think they offer a buy and a sell option on there. So if you've got loads of old components you want to get rid of, or even newer ones, they'll be the ideal people to talk to. Or if you're looking for a cheap graphics card or a cheap CPU to put in a refurbished build, they've got lots of different options on there. So a lot of names are coming in. Obviously, Jen's just read out a few of them to you, but there's a lot more we haven't added to the website and a lot more we've got to announce yet.
Big news, the big news. I was talking to Allison Cook on Facebook, and she was asking me how it goes. Because we do this back and forth. We check on each other. And I said, I'm so stressed out with TechMax. Well, that's nothing new this time of the year for her to hear me say that. And she said, well, what's going on? What sponsorships are out there that have been nabbed up? And we decided a really good one for Allison would be the Lanyard sponsorship. Her and Steve have decided that since they had such a really good return on investment at TechMax in all the years they've been coming, and it's been every year, that they would take up the Lanyard sponsorship. And so when you pick up your lanyards, you're going to have a nice EADR lanyard with their compliments. So they've taken that burden off of our shoulders, you might say.
That's it. So, and it's a good thing is, which basically means is they're supporting the event. You might think, oh, it's just a lanyard round the neck.
It's
But
a
basically,
lot.
all the funds we're getting for sponsorships and so forth go directly back into the event. So, obviously, these people who do sponsor the events, they're the ones who actually, shall we say, care probably more about it or are able to spend money to help other independent businesses and smaller businesses grow. So obviously we always like those. So EADR, Valkyrie, obviously is in association with Origin, and obviously especially Target, who are the main sponsor or headline sponsor this year,
and you
along
might-
with Logix, Pixel, and Prevo.
You might think lanyards, that can't be a whole lot. It really, when you think about it, lanyards, they add up. The as many as we have to have for the show, it all adds up, and that takes away from the budget. So when someone can come along and support us in just a small way like that, it really is a nice relief. Every little bit helps when you get even the silver and gold sponsorships that we have that don't have names, just silver and gold. Anything you can do, it's appreciated. It really is, because it helps us not just pay for this year, it helps us plan for next year as well. So those of you who have taken on sponsorship, Target, Valkyrie, and Origin, and all of you really get the sponsorship list.
And EADR as well. Yeah, that's it.
EADR. Thank you so much. It is absolutely your stars. So I will do something I don't usually do. I don't usually do this. But I'm going to read out a list of people who have signed up, and it's unofficial. We'll just say it one time. It's unofficial, and I'm going to read out the names, and that's it.
Yeah, but you're not reading the full list out. This is just a edited
This is a
list.
edited,
Yeah.
condensed version. And next week, we'll have
Probably a few more.
another list, you
Yeah.
know. But I'll read this one time. Okay, I have Eurosoft, and Origin is on here for some reason. I don't know how. Okay, Enderfi, Norton, Adesso, Smart, and NCXT.
Yeah.
So there you go. Your unofficial. I won't say it again.
The Smart one should be quite interesting for a few
It will
people.
be.
They've definitely not been to the event before.
No.
I won't say too much more until they actually everything
That
else.
leaves some mystery to it.
Yeah, but they're definitely going to be an interesting one for most people.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I can see Russell's in the chat from Lexar. Yes, we've given you a shout out, Russell. I don't know if you heard that a few minutes ago, but
Russell,
Lexar.
I need some art and a write-up from you. If you sent it to me, it's gotten misplaced. So if you can send it to Phil, that would be wonderful.
Well, that's one way of sending him another email, isn't it? So we got Jace, or Jason, I'm presuming Jace is his short name. Evening, folks. And we've also got Mark. Well done, EADR, as well. And good evening from Mark as well. So hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in tonight. On top of that, we'll just go through a few other bits and bobs. I'm only going to go really through quickly on these. But obviously, you know that the other services we are offering. We've got the Geek for Me service on there. We've got 85, I think it is, people signed up now. 84 in the UK, 1 in the US. We're not really advertising to the US yet, but they are fine to sign up.
What are you, anti-American?
Well, no, but we're focusing on our core audience first.
Everybody is our core audience.
No, our core audience is the
Everybody
UK.
is.
We're promoting those. So obviously, Geek for Me's up there. Obviously, if you're not signed up, 90-day trial. We've also got our Plus membership as well. We've just released quite a few things this month. We'll be sending an email out in a couple of days' time. But we've got the article, Understanding Your Device Choices, so it lets customers know the differences and the use cases of laptops, desktops, tablets, and smartphones. You can obviously share that with them. We've also released some more artwork, so you've got phone repair on top of all the other bits of artwork we've got on there, from maintenance services, the end of Windows 10, blah, blah, blah. There's quite a few bits on there. It's all starting to add up now as we're adding stuff every month. We've also got documentation. You've got new computer invoice, so it's got some terms and conditions at the bottom, and as well as some optional additions you can add onto the terms and conditions depending on what fits your needs. And we've also released 4 videos as well at the same time. Just press play on them. They're just short ones, what you can share on social media and put with some content, saying we repair computers, laptops, tablets, and phones and so forth. So, and that's basically it for the news there, I think. Don't you think we should get on to the main topic?
I think so.
Yeah, let's just quickly say one last thing. Before we do anything else, we have to say thank you to Seasonic, because Seasonic are the sponsors of the show, and that's what makes this show possible. And a little video from them.
Yeah.
Seasonic.
I told
There
you it
you
was
go.
short. So, but Seasonic, if you need decent power supplies, well,
I
Seasonic.
wouldn't just say decent. I
Yeah.
would say damn good.
A lot of your top-end power supplies from other brands, not naming them, generally are Seasonic power supplies, rebranded, rebadged, and so forth. So your top-end ones, and I think we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, we've got a 2,200 watt version in of one of them, and we've even got a Noctua special edition version of a Seasonic power supply.
I
as
love
well
when
as
they,
well.
they send them to us, because Phil lets me, just when I think that I've held the heaviest power supply, Phil brings another box to me. He says, here, take this. And he catches me out every time. And I go to take it like some sort of feather or something, and I just about weigh myself down with it, you know. I mean, these power supplies are not just your power supply. I mean, they are, oh my God, heavy power
Very heavy.
supplies.
2,200 watts. It's,
Yeah.
it's not a brick, it's multiple bricks. That thing is.
It's
but
like
yeah.
trying to pick up the house. I mean,
Yeah,
ooh,
exactly. It's heavier than some computers, just the power supply
no
alone.
kidding.
But anyway, let's get on to the main chat then. So you've seen all the QR codes and stuff. Feel free to rewind if that's still a thing, or go back and
That
scan those with your
is so
phone.
1989.
Yeah, exactly. Rewind. That's it.
Be
Right.
kind, rewind.
That's it. So let's get on with this show then. So let's talk about, obviously, what we're here to talk about, and that is call-out services. So where to start? So does anyone have any advice for people who are new to the industry, or let's say they've got a store and they want to expand and do call-out services? Is there anything you would like to, advice you'd like to give them?
I'll give them some advice. Have
Mm.
somebody that can drive and has a car.
Okay, that's a good start. Why is it?
Because you're not gonna be able to carry things on buses. I mean, let's put it like this: it's gonna be hard to carry a full system
Okay.
on a bus.
I thought you were going a different way then. I thought you were going to say you need someone to be able to drive you because you're going to have that much to drink to get over it at the end of the day, that you'll need someone to drive you home.
No.
There you go. So, yeah. So, you pull your hair out and have a drink at the end of the day.
No kidding.
Yeah. But, yeah. So let's have a look. Chat's going a bit quiet at the moment, so
No kidding.
let's start them off. Obviously, transport's always a good thing. Some things, what you need to do is obviously you need to get yourself insurance, okay, to cover you. Even though you're pretty good at doing what you do, if you suddenly, I don't know, burn someone's house down or something due to a dodgy power supply you've bought off of, let's say, a auction website, shall we say?
Yeah, that was very good. Very good.
Or
That's
something
clever.
along that lines, then definitely something you need to have a look into is insurance. So public liability insurance, and also to go along with that, if you are using a vehicle, is to make sure you've got insurance on that as well, which covers your contents, equipment, anything along that lines, make sure you include that. And one tip, if you've got signage on your vehicle, so like a sign on the side, whether it's a magnetic or printed onto the car or whatever, you need to make sure that your insurance covers that, because that makes your vehicle more prone to get burgled because there's stuff inside. If that's not written in your insurance or whatever, you could find that the insurance won't cover you.
You know, I will give you a tip. When Phil did call outs, he did not have signage on the last car we had. He had some magnetic stickers for one but they only were on it for a short period of time. But he took out everything at night after his last call out. He didn't leave things in it overnight. He'd take all of his boxes out. That way, if someone decided, oh, I know this guy, he fixes computers for a living, I'm going to smash his windows in and see what I can get, they would probably get some fluff off the seat and a couple of pounds in shrapnel. And, it'd be less to worry about on an insurance claim than have to file for tools and computers and so forth.
And there's not that as well. Obviously, if you're in an accident, then it covers your equipment if it gets damaged as well.
Yeah.
So that's
True.
definitely. I used to have signage on the catches. I always used to drive Mondeos, and the catches with that is when you turn up to someone's house with a big sticker on the side, what looks like a magnetic sticker, everyone thinks you're a taxi driver. That's one thing to watch out for.
Yeah.
So
You don't want any old ladies getting in the back seat, do you?
I only had one person knock on the window and ask if
Really?
I could get,
Oh my God.
that was a long time ago now. But when they had the old Blue Mondeo a few years ago.
I always said you did more than just computer repair.
Well, there you go.
There
then.
you go.
So, right, okay, so let's quickly go to chat. So, Jason's saying call out is a premium service.
Yep.
Price it appropriately.
He is right.
Definitely. That's one thing I would suggest, and this goes for any type of business, to be honest. You need to check the pricing of everyone else locally as well, because a common thing to do, and I know when we opened our store, we did it as well, thinking, oh yeah, we'll
Undersell and
we put the prices too low, and then you get the wrong type of customers and so forth. So check what everyone else is charging locally.
But
obviously, your quality of service is probably not going to be, when you first start out, as good as some of the others. It depends on your background and so forth, but you are going to be learning. But you don't want to overprice yourself, but you want to make at least be comparable with others.
you need to sit down, basically, this is my opinion on it. Figure out your costings. Figure out how much petrol it's going to take you to get in an overall ballpark area of where you're going to cover. All right, anywhere in that ballpark area. Figure out how much petrol, your wear and tear on your vehicle, what you're going to need, tools, so forth, your costings, and work it out. And then average out what you've got to make just to break even. And I'd put at least 20 to 25% on top.
Yeah. What I'm going to do in a second when I find it, talking about costing, there's a nice document, and I'll share it with you all so you can use it. I've just got to get it on a share link.
The lady that got me into figuring up costings is Alex Polizzi, the hotel inspector. I used to watch her show religiously, and she would come in and try and help these people, and they wouldn't know how much it took to break even. And it blew my mind. I said, oh my gosh. I said, I think what I'll do is figure out just my costings, what it takes to break even. Phil is not around. I'm just going to see how much. And you would be surprised how much it took to break even on an average day when we had the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me get this screen up for costings, and I've put the link in chat as well for anyone who wants to do it. So let me have a look. So you just have to bear with me while it swaps over to the correct screen. Here we go. So basics is, it's a very basic Excel sheet, but it'll work out how much your costs are. Okay, so you can change it. Again, these are just basic numbers I put in. So if you're, let's just say, rent for your property, lease, mortgage is 1,500, or if it's free, put 0 in there. How much your phone, mobile phone, internet, electric, gas, waste, and any other bits on there, insurances, car, van, finance, staff, loans, blah, 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 blah. You put all your figures in and it will automatically figure out exactly at the bottom what the total is. And then you put in how many days a month you will work. So let's just say you were working 30 days, or let's just say change that to 20 days. It will then tell you per day you've got to earn £259.85 to break even. That's per day you work. Okay, obviously some days you'll earn more and some less, but that's going to be the average, and that's if you're doing 10 jobs a day. If you're not doing 10 jobs a day and you're only able to do 5 jobs a day, then obviously that's going to work out slightly different, but it'll tell you the cost per job if you put it in. So if you're doing 5 jobs a day, that means you need on every job to charge at least $51.97 to break even. Okay, if you're able to do 20
and that's
jobs
before any parts and labor come into it.
exactly. Well, any parts like this sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you're able to do 20 jobs, then you obviously need to charge a minimum of just under 13 quid. So that's basic sheet. I've put it into the chat, so just click the link or copy and paste it or write it down, and that's there, and you can download it and use it. So it'll just do the basic costs. You can add extra things in if you wanted, but every bit you add in there will change the outcome. So for whatever reason, let's just say you've got to spend £5,000 on insurance, then it'll change all the numbers to fit.
Yeah.
So it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so let me go back to normal
It's
chat.
a clever little worksheet, and it's very simple to use.
Yeah, that's why I made it. It makes it easy to see how much your extra costs. So when your insurance goes up, if your car costs go up, or if you're getting a new car and let's just say you need to finance it, or you're getting it on monthly whatever's, leasing, can't think of the name of it then, you can then basically alter it, and then you can see how much extra you really need to be earning per job. So it gives you a rough idea. Let me just quickly go to chat and say hi to everyone we missed. So we got, let's have a look. It's Christopher Fenton, afternoon. So afternoon, Christopher. And we've got Rich Creedy saying evening all as well. And Welshie Tech saying, really sorry guys, I'm late. Doesn't he say that every week?
Yeah.
He does, doesn't he?
He and
Welshie.
Gadget Joe are never on time for anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen Gadget Joe on tonight actually, so that's an interesting one. So it's probably in there. And we got Ken saying,
we got King Ken from the royal family of Mosley from Canny Clever IT.
there we go. So
He's got Prince and Duke with him. Hello, Prince. Hello, Duke. I'm coming to see you next week.
Are you?
Yeah, next week.
Is it next week?
Next week.
That's quick.
Yeah, next week.
Wow. Okay. There we go. That went quick. Okay, so there we go. So let's get back onto the show then. So right, guys. Jace is saying he's giving us one there. Here we go. I'll let you read that one out.
Respectfully, I disagree that you have to match others locally. Almost everybody charges too little for their service. Your costing should be based on what you need to earn and what you feel you are worth, not what others in your areas charge. So on that one. I want to say you don't want to overcharge, and because everybody will go, well, I can get it cheaper elsewhere. And you don't want to make everyone mad at you for undercharging.
Yeah.
So you keep it, if you keep it kind of an even playing field, they will
it.
respectfully pay you, I think.
Well, just to go with what Jason's saying there is obviously he disagrees, which obviously everyone's got their opinions.
Yeah.
Everything we say, there's no
We're not a rule book.
rule of what will work and what won't work. It's different for everyone. We found different things from our experience. Obviously, Jace found different things
Yeah.
from his experience. He does the what's it called now? The website, Computer Repairman website.
Yep.
So obviously he's dealing with a lot of call-out services as well. So again, there's no right or wrong as such, but one thing I would say is obviously if you are a bit more expensive, that's one thing. If you're way too cheap, you'll be seen as the cheapest one, and I generally find you get
For a reason.
You usually get the worst customers in our experience. But again, that could differ in your area and with your customers.
I will say let's see, you came to see me in 2007. I'm trying to figure out what year it was. In 2004, call-outs in rural Alabama were $185 per hour.
Yeah.
$185
They're
per
a lot more
hour.
expensive in the States, I've noticed.
Now, because we see it as not just premium service, but premium. You want me to come to your house and fix your computer and take up my time? You'll pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're welcome to take your machine to my store and get it done for cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want me to come out and see you and take up a lot of time and faffing about, you will pay for it.
Yeah.
So, and that I would not be scared to say that today it's flirting with the 300 mark.
Yeah, I won't be surprised. I've seen a lot of the prices of American call-out services, and they are a premium. And in all honesty, they're only giving the same sort of services we do over here. Peter's saying,
You do not want to be a race to the bottom. A lot of competitors charging less than us have gone out of business. Yeah, I agree with him.
it's probably the other way as well. Some probably what have charged more have gone out of business, but you tend to find it's harder to put your prices up
Yes.
after they've been very low to a normal price or what everyone else is charging. But again,
Yeah, but I was in that boat because when we had the store, we decided we were going to put up our reinstall of Windows started out being 25 pounds, I think.
yeah.
And then we wanted to put it up to 50. And people were just about swallowing their tongues and gasping for breath. And they were like, well, what's changed? And I said, well, bills, things, inflation. It's just like with TechMax. I can't keep it at the same price every year. I have to go with inflation.
Yeah.
Inflation comes with TechMax, and I have to jack the prices up.
That's it can be hard if you have really low prices and you're putting your prices up by a fiver, because if you're only charging £25 an hour, like Richard Creedy said he was doing in 2006, if you put your prices up £5 or even £10, that's a huge percentage compared to if you're charging £50-60 and you put your prices
Yeah.
up £5-10, it's a lot smaller of a percentage. So
People don't tend to
people
notice it.
as much.
Yeah.
But I would suggest if you haven't put your prices up for a long time, do have a look at doing it. Double check what everyone else around you is charging and see how you are compared to everyone else. Again, it's up to you if you do or do not. Everyone has their own views. But I agree with Richard. When I first started, similar sort of time, 2005 when I started, and I was charging a call out for 25 quid then. So which when I stopped doing them, I think it was 72, I think it was, when we stopped doing those. £72.
Oh, I was fixing to say, wait a minute. Well, she says it's about balance. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
In
area
a
is different.
nutshell, it's about balance.
Yeah, every area is different. Obviously, prices in London are probably going to be more expensive than prices outside of London. Obviously, in your rural area or a city, everything's going to be different. I'm going to let you read this one, Jen, because he's wrote
Tony's
us an
given me an essay.
Yeah,
A big problem with this business is the low barrier to entry. So you have lots of techs who open their own business and undercut the competitor while never truly understanding how much they need to earn to stay in business. Most don't realize that labor should be 10 to 20% of their gross revenue, et cetera, so they just charge next to nothing until they can no longer stay in the business. I've seen too many people work 7 days a week in this industry only to barely pay their bills due to this misunderstanding of finances. Like I said before, at least 20% on top after costings.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's really depends. Obviously, call out service is going to be more labour income usually, unless you are doing lots of system setups and stuff like that. Because obviously, you'll go in and you're going to be more doing repairs and servicing and upgrades and stuff like that. But again, it differs per.
And Mr. Ken says, we haven't done call-outs mainly because of safeguarding, etc. We employ a lot of younger staff, but we are considering it. So watch with interest. I believe Mr. Ken's going to pick up and do some call-outs pretty soon.
Some advice for you there, Ken. Obviously, I wouldn't send anyone under probably 18 to
18.
call outs anyway, to be honest with you. But if you are, and you'll get this, you'll go to people's houses, and for some reason, the adults like to leave the kids running around the house and they'll disappear themselves. Is you insist that they stay in the room at all points while the kid's in there, because it's easy for you to get accused of something, especially in this day and age where accusations go around. Make sure if there are any minors around, as in kids, not the ones what are going underground, but if there's lots of
I hadn't even thought about that. Trust you.
if there's kids around, make sure there's another adult around, and that way you can't be accused of anything. Obviously, there's always a chance I still could accuse you anyway.
I will say this. If it's a customer that you've never seen before, I would go and I would do a first call out myself to see what I was getting into before I sent out a younger person. You know, you just never know what kind of weirdo is sitting there. And I'm not talking about one sex. I'm talking about everybody's weird these days.
There's definitely some weird people out there.
There's some weirdos. I mean,
yeah. So definitely watch out if you're putting yourself into situations. You want to try and get out of those situations. Let's put it that way. So don't make yourself vulnerable where you could be taken advantage of.
I would also tell the younger ones, if it doesn't feel right, something's not right. And it is okay to leave at any given moment if you don't feel right.
If you feel unsafe, or you feel that for whatever reasons
the hair on your neck stands up for any reason, get out.
Get out. You can make an excuse saying you can't do this job here, or something like that, or you've got an emergency call out or something like that. And you could always take the machine with you. I had a few customers which were a bit like that, to be honest, where let's just say the conditions inside the building weren't brilliant. And basically I'd always say to them, right, okay, I'm in a hurry, I can have a look at it, but I'm going to have to take it away back to my office. I'll have a look at my office between hours.
He's brought home some disgusting stuff.
Yeah, and then we'll drop it back off at your door when passing, and they're usually fine with that. So, but yeah.
And it's not just disgusting as in to touch. It's disgusting sometimes what they have on their computer that flashes up that you didn't even have to dig for.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's it. So, yeah, definitely a lot of things. You just don't know what conditions you're going to. And it might not just be houses as well. It could be businesses you could be going. If you're going in a manufacturing place and everyone's wearing hard hats and you're not, you need to ask them for a hard hat because something happens to you. It's not going to be good.
You know, Ken, I carried Draper tools and everything in I only had, like I said, a little Draper screwdriver set. But on that one call out I did, I made it look like I was preparing for World War III. I carried the biggest toolbox I could find. And there was a purpose for that. You know how women get mad at you and they hit you with your handbag when everything goes south? I was prepared, let's just say, if anything went awry, that
That's it.
I didn't say that, but
Just be aware what's going. So pricing obviously is a big thing. We'll go to Jace's comment in a few seconds, but basically you need to research what everyone is offering. That includes pricing and so forth. Just don't jump out there and start doing services without knowing what levels are. But the biggest thing is you need to know your expenses, and that's that document I shared a few minutes ago. It should be in the chat if you scroll up, and if not, I'll post it again in a few minutes if you need it. But basically, it'll let you figure out how much you need to earn per day, per job to break even. Obviously, you want profit on top of that as well. So, obviously, different people have different expenses. Some people work in offices, some work at home and stores and so forth. So it all adds up slightly differently. So let's quickly go back to the chat. Let's go. Was Jace was saying?
Jace was next. Raise your prices a little and often, and you will find the level at which your customers value the service you provide. You may lose more quotes than you used to at a lower price, but you need fewer jobs to meet your targets and have more time available.
Yeah, exactly. This is definitely something that we've preached many times is this one. We always say in January, if you don't do it any other time of the year, or at least end of December, ready for January, is you put your prices ready up for the new year. Obviously, obviously look at your costs, but also look at inflation as well. Because you've got to live, your cost of living's going up, especially if you're a call-out service and that's all you do and you're a one-man band. You've got to support potentially not only yourself, your family as well. So you need to make sure you put your prices up.
Hairdressers do it.
Yeah.
If you're sitting there in the chair sometime, I know us ladies, we like to look around the hairdressers, and there'll always be a plaque in there. As of March, blah, 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 we will be increasing our services to this new price list. And you look and you think, oh, wow, okay. But you pay it because you want to have your hair look nice and everything. You think that they're worth it, or you go, I don't know, if you don't think they're worth it, you go somewhere else. But most ladies, they stay with that one hairdresser that does them well.
Yeah,
so.
a lot. One of the things you've got to remember is if you are a call-out service, you go into people's houses, especially after your first visit, and obviously everything goes well and so forth. You tend to be more trusted. You tend to build better, or at least I found better relationships because you're getting to meet them, the family. Obviously, there's people I've met, the grandparents and their kids and extended families and so forth over the years. And you tend to get sort of, oh yeah, how's your aunt doing, or how's your mother doing, and all this, that, and the other. And you tend to build up a nice community.
Even if you don't do
customers.
the services for the mother, she may be sitting there one day and you just mention her, and
Yeah, exactly.
Talking point.
Let's have a look what Tony's saying.
It seems like mobile repair call-outs, right, is much more popular service overseas. This is rather uncommon here in the States. Quite interesting. It depends on where you are and the needs for the area. A lot of times the internet service providers in America, some of their staff double up as a call-out service. One of the guys I went to school with worked for the local internet service provider, and he would do call-outs and troubleshoot for you, but he didn't charge nearly what I did for the same thing, and
But yeah, you are right there, Tony. Mobile repair, call out. Over here, if you say mobile repair, that sounds like smartphone repair because we call them mobile phones a lot of the time. But yeah, call out, on-site visits, home office, sort of things like that. But it is quite popular over here. I do know one or two people who do it in the States, but there seems to be more of a remote support thing over in the States I've seen people doing, and one or two stores. But over here, I can't say about the rest of Europe, but definitely in the UK, call outs, as we're going to call it, is very popular. I would say there's as many call out services as there are stores, and a lot of stores do have the call out option as well.
I was just replying to Jace. He says it may be less popular in the States because of the distance. But the thing is, Jace, in the States, you got straight roads mostly. So it's kind of an A to B. You get from, like, say, here to Sheffield in like half the time that you do over here. In the States, it would be at least half the time, because you don't have to go around here and go through here and go around this anthill and blah, 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 blah. It's just straight, get on the interstate, and easy. So it actually takes less time to get from A to B.
It can, but it's also a lot spread out as well, I do find.
It is spread out, but getting to A to B is not the problem.
Too bad, I suppose, but it depends on where you are. Obviously, if you're in somewhere like Kentucky or whatever, it's going to be different than in New York or something like that, but I suppose it's going to be completely depends on if it's a rural area or
that's in any state.
So yeah, I suppose there we go. Right, okay, so let's go to the next one. Richard was saying
I'd have a job swinging my laptop bag around. It weighs like 11 kilos. Well, nothing like time to go to the gym and work out those muscles, Richard.
I used to carry around a flight case, so obviously what your pilots have, and I'd have my laptop in there, obviously all the bits and bobs and so forth. Yeah, I've still got it actually, so I do rarely go out these days, but I've still got that with me equipment in, even cleaning equipment and stuff like that, and so on. So Dan's asking a question, out of interest, what kinds of jobs do people get called out to? Is it networking, wireless coverage, big for you? We used to get a lot of wireless coverage ourselves. Obviously, things have changed since we've moved over to the tech side of things, but we always found that mesh used to be a big thing recently. But I think now a lot of your service providers like BT and so forth give you these Halo things, and the other ones give you different named ones, but they're basically, it's sort of a rudimentary mesh type system.
I hate to give credit, but when Tenda came out with their wireless nodes,
the Novas,
they kind of kicked it off for everybody in our area getting mesh. And I talked around that time. Jamie Plumridge was our contact at Tenda, and we got our first review of Jamie of those nodes.
Yeah. We were the first ones to review it.
And I thought they were just awesome, and they are. They really are cool things.
I went to the launch event down there. It was in a microbrewery somewhere in London, if I remember right. So, but yeah, that was interesting.
Was it the same one that they have PCR awards?
No, it was a different one. It's not as big as that, so but it was still good. But there we go. So Richard's saying,
when do I price my price changes? When I do my price changes, it's around the new year. Yeah.
New tax year,
New year, everything new.
So new tax year, or obviously depends on when your taxes are due and so forth. We always did it new year. We always thought new year, new prices. But again, it's good to have a time you actually do that. I think we already did that one, didn't we? Peter, who was replying. Richard Creed is saying he gets all sorts down: networking, printers, software, malware issues, batteries, PSUs. How many do you get where people have forgot the passwords? That's always one.
I've never had a password.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
you set my machine up 10 years ago. You should know what the password is. You put it on. Yeah,
I don't.
think
And
we all
what
know
is?
those ones.
I've never had to log into my email. I just press this button, and it goes right in.
Yeah.
What are you talking about logging in?
Yeah, so we already mentioned that one about Jace. Another thing
Yeah.
why it's probably not as popular in the States is you don't. Well, you have to worry about if someone's got a shotgun under the chair or sofa, don't you? I suppose.
That's another thing.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that over here. Okay.
Well, another thing is, it's not just guns. I hate to say this, but everybody's got a dog,
Yeah.
and some of the dogs are not very friendly. And you'll have one go, "Isn't he sweet?" And then he's showing all of his teeth, how pretty and white they are, going, "Arr." You're like, "Yeah, good boy, good boy." And you're like,
Another, if mentioning animals, obviously, if you've got any allergies and you want to do call-out services, make sure you take plenty of pills, allergy pills. Because,
Non-drowsy ones.
Yeah, non-drowsy ones, especially when you're driving home. But there we go. So let's have a quick one. Let's have a look. Do tech jobs suffer problems with like reviewers or people who make how videos do? Does it affect businesses?
The only thing that I used to find was the kids would come in and they would have watched a video on YouTube of another kid talking about how awesome a computer was that he got from somewhere and how you just had to have this for it to work. And I will say it like this: if it's a biased review where a kid goes to play Fallout, you've got to have an i9 processor, 64 gigabytes of RAM, 20 SSDs.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, you have to just basically say, look,
yeah,
here's the minimum requirements to play Fallout, and show them online what the gaming website says, and say, but I'm not going to recommend that we get the minimum requirements because there's always going to be an update.
yeah.
And you spec it accordingly.
That's it.
That's the only time that reviewers have ever really gotten on my nerves.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of how-to videos, and people do look them up and try and the repairs themselves. Obviously, it's not always easy to see in the how-to videos. On top of that, people find videos which might be a similar model or make, not exactly the same,
yes.
which can cause issues. I think it's one of those things is it probably takes some work away because people manage to do it themselves, but it probably brings in other jobs where people have made them much worse by trying to repair them themselves, because a lot of people will look at something and go, oh, my screen's not working on my laptop, I'm going to look how to replace the screen. And then let's just say the how-to video doesn't show the person disconnecting the battery in the laptop first, and then they end up blowing something on the actual laptop when they replace the screen.
It's happened.
So it's one of those things. Is I think it does give shops work, but it also takes away. So I think it's a give and take on that one.
And
Personally, that's my finding anyway.
It doubles our job, actually, of what we would have had to have done in the beginning, rather than having to replace a new screen one day. I had to replace a new screen and the plastics because a girl left a screw floating around behind her screen, and it cracked the plastics and it blew the screen. And well, the board, I mean, she's lucky that the board didn't go boom. I don't know why it didn't, but it didn't.
That's it. So Rich is saying we get calls from people who look at said videos and think, nope, we'll get someone in. Yeah, that's it. You'll get some people who do that as well. And Rich is saying loads, that's the one, never had one, it just works. Okay, and then, well, she was just talking about the same thing there. And then we've got Jace saying, I'll let you read that one.
Replying to Tony, something else learned. Over 20 plus years of on-site services, wherever possible, collect and return. You can get so much more done repairing them at your place and can batch them together much more efficient. He's right, you know.
Yeah. And he also says, also you don't lose time to those customers who just talk endlessly and won't leave you
cheeses
alone.
me off.
Yeah, that's it. They're always the ones who are wondering might take so long as well when they're chatting and why the bill's so high.
You can just picture this, and I had this happen back home one day. This old man actually had his arm up on my shoulder with a cigarette in it, and he's trying to look over at what I'm doing and understand it. And I thought to myself, A, do you mind putting that cigarette out so I can breathe? B, can you take your hands off of me? And I'll tell you when I'm done what I did.
If it was a customer like that, which had already been out to see before, the way I'd usually approach it, I'd always make notes in my diary when I first started. Well, I mean, diary, it was paper.
It was.
I'd make notes about the customer, nothing nasty or anything, but it'd be like, asks lots of questions or likes to watch. So what I'd do when I go round, I'd say to him, right, there's two ways I can do this. I can run you through exactly everything on how I'm repairing it and so forth. It's going to take longer, which means we're going to be here longer and so forth. Or if you want it, I can basically do it, obviously on my own, or you can watch, but it's going to work out cheaper because it takes less time.
I just hated the way he hung over me.
Yeah.
When I say hung over me, I mean like putting his arm up on me with his ciggy. Replying to Tony, sorry, that wasn't a reply to Tony.
So, okay, Jace.
Okay.
Is he going to do another one saying, replying to Tony,
Okay.
sorry, that wasn't a reply to Tony, sorry, Tony. But there we go. Let's have a look. So Alison's saying, in my experience, they have to go because it looks easy enough. They have a go, sorry, because it looks easy enough and makes things worse. Yeah, you do get a lot like that, I must admit.
Allison, I wouldn't try your job at home if someone offered me all the money in the world. There's no way.
Yeah.
I know that I'd mess things up. I just know I would. I know my limits. I can build a computer, but data recovery, oh, come on.
Ken's talking to Dan here.
At Dan, we get calls for Wi-Fi coverage a lot. It would be great if the manufacturers had some software tooling that would map and recommend placement, etc. Back in the day, 3Com had great mapping tool that you imported floor plans into, etc. Showing my, I guess he's going to say age here.
Yeah,
or
so show
something
my
like.
age now. I still remember 3Com being bought by HP Enterprise, although let's have a look. Although the 3Com lifetime warranties still stand. Wow, that's pretty good if they still stand.
Interesting.
And Dan's going to reach out. I'm pretty sure. Oh, Dan, you know Ken. He's been up to see Target plenty of times. So there we go. PC Guy says sorry was late a few minutes ago, but he's saying,
how many do-it-themselves customers who make things work? Oh, have many. Okay.
yeah.
I thought this was going to be one of those, how many does it take to screw in a light bulb or something like that.
That's it. So basically, it's do it themselves. Yeah. So do people, especially with people trying to repairs online now, do you guys still find that you get a lot of the customers basically say, "Oh, my mate down the road, or my friend, or my family members, brothers, sisters, cousins"?
I got a mate that's great with computers.
Yeah.
That was the line that I just really wanted to take someone and just headbutt them.
Yeah, do you guys still get those sort of repairs? Those ones really annoyed me. So yeah. So also, what do you guys do about advertising when you call out? Let us know your ideas there. It's getting quite late in the show, so we're going to have to run through things pretty quick.
PC Guy says, I have many do-it-themselves who make things much worse. Then they bring it in and try to tell me what YouTube said.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a girl come in, and she said that YouTube said to soak her laptop in rice, and what it was baby milk had sprayed all over it or something like that. It was vile smelling.
Yeah.
It was vile, and she had it in the airing cupboard for a week after that. So yeah, you can imagine.
Yeah, I've had all sorts. Cat pee is one of the worst ones. That stinks. But yeah, so all sorts over the years. So definitely. So yeah. So how do you guys advertise? Obviously, one of the first things you need to think about, and this goes for any type of business this day and age, you need a website.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't need to look like the best website in the world, but you need to have some sort of presence with some of the basics on there, how to contact you when you open. And you'd be surprised how many websites I see which don't include where they're based. They might have a mobile phone number, but they don't actually say, oh yes, we're based in Sheffield, Chesterfield, London, where it just says give us a call, and they expect people to know where they're based.
When we let people in to Tech for Text, we always do a check. We see your websites,
Oh yeah.
and you'd be amazed at some of you who do not have. You've got a clean website, I'll say that, but it's too clean. You don't tell people the services you offer.
Yeah.
That's one of the main things that they're there for, is to know what kind of services you
And
offer.
also, if you're not mentioning what services you offer, search engines aren't going to find your website as easy as well. Okay, one of the things, there was one what I was doing for the Geek for Me the other day, I actually turned them down in the end because the website did not have any phone number on it. It didn't have a contact form on it. It just basically said what area they covered. There was no way for someone to get in touch with them.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on.
You got to give a little information.
Yeah, it was a very poorly done website, in all honesty. So you want to make sure you got your basics, phone number. One of the main things people are going to be calling a call-out service for is to call them to come to you. So you need to make sure your phone number is top of the page. They can see it straight away. People don't spend long on things these days. They won't spend hours searching for something. They want to go to a website what tells them what they need to know then and there. It's the same with social media and videos. Everything's getting smaller and shorter and more precise. People don't want to spend hours.
If they're like me, they hate these fill out this little form here and we'll get back to you kind of thing. So please submit your name, your email, and your phone number, and we'll call you back kind of thing.
Yeah.
They don't want that. If they wanted that, they'd go further afield. They want it now. That's me. I want to get in contact with you now.
That's down to the customer, but yeah, I would find that most people will generally usually phone. But some people will find it more convenient.
I want to be able to phone you and not rely at. It's one thing if you're booking reservations for a restaurant to fill out a form like that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to book a service like, say, computers or to get in and see the GP, even, I want a phone number.
Yeah, exactly. So websites definitely is most. Make sure you've got a fairly decent. There's platforms out there what you can use and make a quick one, and they'll charge you so much a month. But make sure you've also got a decent email address. Don't use a free one like Gmail or Outlook.
That looks so bad.
It can look quite unprofessional, especially if you're dealing with businesses.
Yeah.
Probably not so much residential, but it can still look to some people a little bit.
Even a call-out service, you really need branding. It costs very little to get just a standard email address.
Yeah.
And,
Obviously, there are ways of getting your website more seen on social media. On search engines. You can use stuff like Jace does, Computer Repairman. We've got the Geek for Me. If you're able to get into those services, then I would suggest, because not only are those websites generally good for your website, because you get backlinking on it. Obviously, you've got two ways people can potentially get in touch with you, or three or more, and try and get into local newspapers and different websites locally, which also link to your website as well. Backlinking. And don't go for any random stuff no one's ever heard of. Make sure that try and get links to your website, because it will actually be a positive. So let's have a quick look.
Think about this also with these services. Everybody who signs up is going to see it. Mm-hmm. So they're going to know that if they can't, let's have if they have a customer that calls them that says, "Oh, I can't do this. I don't offer that service, but I know someone in my area because they are on that map.
Yeah.
They can refer your service." So it works in that way as well.
True. Peter's saying he does leaflet drops, directory mags, websites, computer repairman website, and so forth. Yeah, leaflet drops work for you still, Peter. To be honest, if I get a leaflet through the door, I generally go straight in the bin these days.
Yeah, because Bond loves to carry him around.
But even before we had the dog, it's still went in the bin, to be honest. Very few would even...
I still say you're to blame for Bond and his mail fetish, because Bond goes to the mail drop every time he hears the postman. And I blame it on Phil, because he gave him a Mother's Day card to give to me last Mother's Day. And Bond came bearing it in his mouth. And I think that kicked off the whole mail thing.
Well, of course it's my fault. Of course. So there we go. So yeah, leaflet drops. Interesting to hear opinions. Do you actually take like a note how many people you actually get coming in from the leaflet drops and stuff like that, and figure out price per person you actually get? And does anyone do that? Let's have a look.
We did it when we first opened up. We walked miles.
You're right. So the Welsh text saying PC guy, he's the PC guy around this place. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Richard Creedy, mine is terrible. I'm presuming his website's talking about. I need to work on it, but it's getting my head around to doing it. Well, one of those days when you're quiet and you got no work coming in.
Yep.
That's the ideal times to do them, to be honest with you. So let's have a look. Welshie, I have a website and I mainly do reviews. It's a must these days.
It really is.
So I hope this is okay to plug. Okay, so...
If anybody is looking for more customers for call-out work, I may be able to help. Check out Computer Repairman on the web. We are still looking for techs to recommend in areas, the UK and Ireland. Also sign up at www.geekforme.com, which is Bill and Jenny's service.
If you want to share your email address, Jay, or your website, stick that in the chat as well.
Ahead.
That's not a problem. So yeah, Jay's...
We're all friends here.
If you haven't seen his service... Okay, I think you're limited to how many people in the area and so forth, and it's just for call-out services, but it's a brilliant service to go for.
It is.
And he ranks very well on search engines and so forth in areas, sometimes better than the actual local stores.
If you would, if you signed up to Geek for Me and Computer Repairman, wow, that's a double whammy.
Even better. But there you go. Rich Creedy said didn't for me either. I'm guessing he's saying about the leaflets. I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah, that's leaflets.
Yeah, so Peter says we track on Repair Shopper how customers have come to us, and quite a few come from leaflet drops. It may be because we're in a retirement area.
Could be.
That's a good
Could
one.
be. Could
Retirement area. They probably got more time to read the leaflets. But yeah. Definitely. Again, different things work for different areas. If you're in an area with lots of young people, you'll probably find the leaflets probably won't work as well.
No.
But, again, differs. Didn't realise leaflets were still a thing. Yeah.
Unless it's a takeaway menu, we really don't even stop and look at them.
Yeah. You notice we haven't mentioned Yellow Pages yet. So Christopher Fenton saying, before you go, and we'll go to the next one. I was subcontracted by a company called iMend in London, and that was a fantastic model. Is iMend still around? When they for like phone and tablet repairs and stuff? I think they did a computer mend as well. I think they went bust. They handled the leads and handled everything. I went out to repair the phones and they took 15% fee.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's
Okay.
very similar to the computer repairman. He'll tell you about the pricing and model, but that
I
sounds
wouldn't begin to do Jason's
that's-
business for
that's
him.
That's his business and so forth. Our Geek for Free one we do, you get a 90-day trial. And after the 90-day trial, it's a set price, $4.99 or 45
Can't beat it.
a year. So depending on which you prefer, no fees on any of the work. But the computer repairman's a little bit weighed round, but obviously he's more established. His website does rank very well.
Yep.
So if you are looking for work, obviously contact Jace. His website.
Jace doesn't take a cut, he says.
Oh, okay. I don't know how it works from their system these days. But there you go. So computerrepairman.co.uk. Talking about Geek for Me, we were also going to be starting advertising that in a couple of weeks' time to end users as well on our YouTube and on social media pages as well. So because of the amount of people we've had sign up, I think we're at the point where we were hoping to get 100 people signed up by the end of the year. We've got 85 people signed up in 2 weeks. So I think
we're going to hit that goal.
yeah.
I
There
really
we go.
do.
So computer repair is a very good service for me. More work than I can handle. That's good.
That's a really good shout out right there.
There you go. If something like it was around today, I'd be on it right away. There you go, Christopher. You've got
You got
it. Get in touch with
Two of them.
Jace. Geek for Me. Obviously, we've put that on the screen. I'll just stick it on there for you now. It should pop up in a second. You've got the website and the QR code there if you want to scan it. I'm just going to leave it for a couple of seconds. Let's have a look. So yeah, he was saying that iMend was bought out, unfortunately, by What was it? Mazuma Mobile, I think that's pronounced Mazuma.
For some reason, this name is very familiar to me. I don't.
There we go.
Think.
So here we go. Jace is saying that he has an even better model. He doesn't take a cut at all. So there you go. So get in touch with Jace. If you're not sure how to get in touch with him, Christopher, let me know and I'll pass you on. But his website was in the chat a bit further up, so you should be able to find him. You got Richard Creedy saying, let's just say Jason doesn't need to work now. There we go. He can retire. Let me put the normal chat back on. There we go. We've also got Ken saying Yellow Pages, definitely showing my age.
Yep.
Flashing by JR.
I can remember when the phone book at home was this thick, and half of it, well, no, more than this would be about the phone numbers for regular addresses, and the rest would be businesses.
Yeah.
You could use your phone book as a weapon back then. I mean, it was like a brick. It's heavy.
There you go. So there you go. So obviously there's Jace. If you want to get in touch with him, there you go. Gadget Joe. He's appeared from somewhere. 85 in 2 weeks is fantastic. Awesome work, guys. Sorry I haven't been commenting. Had you on the background while I was boarding and insulating the workshop. There we go.
He's always up to something when he's
He is.
listening to the show, isn't he?
Well, I think we're a little bit over. I think we've got plenty to comment. I think
Yeah.
I've got a list of all different things to go through, and I've gone through.
I knew
basically-
when you handed it to me,
Yeah.
I said, shh.
I've gone through 2 points on there out of the 12, so I think that's stuff for another show. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. I can see there's a lot of you actually watching tonight, so that's pretty good. We should be having a show next week. If not, we'll definitely be on the week after. We're just waiting for confirmation for next week. But Mondays nights, 8 o'clock, as always. And before we do go, we do have to say thank you to
Sonic.
And I'm going to do that again because there was a chat screen on the front of it.
Sonic.
There you go. They're getting the money's worth tonight. See,
There we
Sonic
go.
but there we go.
Ray will be happy.
Exactly. So yeah, if you have a decent power supply, check out Seasonic. But otherwise, guys, thank you for tuning on. It's been brilliant. If you haven't already got your tickets for TechMax, I advise you go and get them. It's only just over 3 months away now.
And to those of you who have signed up, thank you, because you are those that make this kind of show possible. We want to make it bigger and better every year, and that takes a lot of doing. Mm-hmm. To just fill what you did the previous year before takes some doing. To go one better, you wouldn't believe the struggle is real.
Yeah, putting on an event is never easy. If you've ever done a wedding, that's
nothing. Child's play.
Yeah, it's nothing compared to this. Trying to organise this, but yeah, definitely a lot of brands.
Even when you have a bridezilla, and you know how that was.
That's it. definitely interested with some of the brands what we've got coming, and I know you guys will be, and you'll definitely have quite a lot of questions for one of them. From previous conversations we've had, and we've got quite a few which are our first time shows, so there's a lot of people interested in attending.
Some that have not quite confirmed. But we know they just know they're coming. They just have to get the HQ approval.
Yeah.
And they're coming as well, first time.
Yeah.
First time.
Unfortunately, with a lot of these big companies, I'm going to say they're a bit outdated where they still work on quarters, where they can't sign off on anything till that actual quarter of the year, which obviously starts on April. We've got a lot of them going, yeah, but can't say anything until April. So
which makes planning
it makes things a bit difficult and trying to fit everyone in and so forth. But
and I don't like the companies that don't let their vendors do their work. The vendor should be able to plan what event he wants to go to.
That's it.
You know, and he should be given a budget each year or quarter or whatever they go by, and say, right, this is your budget. You blow it all on one event. That's it. You know, you don't get any more budget. So I think that it should be left to the vendor to decide which event he wants to go to, not have to jump through 1,001 meetings to decide which he's going to attend.
That's it. We've got one company, just to give you a rough idea what's coming, but they can't confirm 100% until Q4, but they say they are and so forth. They signed a contract, just got to make sure that they
better not be Q4 to be over with.
Well, sorry, Q2. But we've had 7 meetings with them.
Yeah.
7 meetings with them. Okay, to get them sorted. It's not that they didn't want to come, it's that we have to do it with the marketing team, and then we have to do it with the vendors, and then we have to do it with the vendors and marketing teams together, and then the managing director wanted to be on one of them, or the UK manager or whatever it was, and then but it was seven meetings in the end, and we finally got there.
And in the end, the only one that knew what was going on was the vendor who was going to show up.
Yeah.
I mean, all this other fluff that was there, they didn't know TechMax from Tech Talk.
Yeah, well, they've obviously heard of it, but they didn't. They didn't know anything technical. All they knew was a lot of them was how to make some artwork and stuff like that. Again, it's none of the vendors or distributors we've announced up to now. So obviously, any of those listening, don't take any offence because it's not aimed at you. But there we go. Anyway, let's call it a night. So thank you everyone for watching. Thanks again for Seasonic. Obviously, thanks for Jenny and everyone else. And we'll see you all next week.
Time.
Hopefully, anyway. But before you do go, just make sure you watch this little video. Introducing Tech for Techs Plus, the ultimate membership for computer shop owners and IT professionals. If you're looking to save time, boost your marketing, and streamline your business, this is the service for you. For just $29.95 a month or $295 a year, you'll get exclusive access to a treasure trove of digital marketing assets, including stunning posters and poster templates that you can edit yourself, and they're all crafted to captivate your audience. And on top of that, new content is released every month. But that's not all. Tech for Techs Plus also provides informative articles that you can share with your clients through your website, emails, or even printed materials, helping you build trust and loyalty. But on top of that, you also get legal documentation, including customizable contracts and policy templates. You'll have everything you need to protect and grow your business. Do you want to make changes to the posters we provide? No problem. With a Canva subscription, you can edit the designs we provide and tailor them perfectly for your business. You will also be able to take part in exciting upcoming projects like the nationwide Real Tech initiative coming in 2025. So let's accelerate your IT business with Tech for Techs Plus for just $29.95 a month or $295 a year. You'll get the tools you need to grow your business and stay ahead of the competition. Visit techfortechs.co.uk/plus